lawyers are celebrating a ruling by Pakistan's top court disqualifying Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif from public office.
Pakistan's courts have made a Prime Minister accountable. A Prime Minister has been asked how his assets and the assets of his children increased millions of times during his tenure of office. Today is a day of victory for Pakistan.
The case against Sharif was filed after the Panama Papers revealed his family's assets overseas. A web of shell companies was discovered and the first family stand accused of using these to funnel money out of the country. This money is suspected of being used to buy apartments in London and set up businesses abroad. The court has ordered a corruption inquiry to address these allegations. But the money trail that brought down the Prime Minister is a salary of less than $3,000 per month from a Dubai-based company, Capital FZE, which Sharif did not disclose under oath. His supporters say they will continue to defend their leaders in court and that this setback will not impact the party's popularity.
We do not accept the judgment against Nawaz Sharif. He is truthful and trustworthy, and he's taken the people of Pakistan on the path of progress. 180 million people were with him, but some people were against him. The country was about to be included on the list of developed countries, but there is a conspiracy to stop that progress.
But the ban on Nawaz Sharif, his children, as well as the finance minister Ishaq Dar, could have far-reaching consequences for the economy. Sharif's government focused on keeping the currency exchange rate stable, a policy that's been criticized by the International Monetary Fund and Pakistani exporters. Spending on public transport, infrastructure and power projects was stepped up over the past 4 years, and a number of deals were struck with foreign investors, including the sale of Pakistan's equity market to Chinese companies. The ruling party still holds a majority in parliament and is expected to have enough votes to elect a new prime minister. But the legal battle that lies ahead may relegate economic reforms to the back burner. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Joining me now from Dubai is Vahaj Ahmed. He's the South Asia equity analyst at brokerage firm Exotix, which specialises in emerging markets. Vahaj, thank you ever so much for joining us on Money Talks. Let's pick up where Mobin left off in that package, talking about economic reforms. I mean, look, Pakistan's GDP growing at 4 to 5% a year over the last few years over his tenure. Stock prices up 176% since Nawaz Sharif took over. He must be doing something right?
Well, thank you, Azhar, first of all, for having me on your program. I think, yes, Nawaz Sharif has a role to play. We've seen he came up with an agenda to, show him as a pro-business government, and also to bring energy and get rid of the power deficit in the country. But what have we seen? I mean, we have argued this previously, that the PMLN government is not really pro-business. I have examples. Number one, tax rates have been increased for documented businesses in the country. However, the tax net has not been extended to the undocumented economy. Number two, the government has sold or divested its stake in well-run state-owned entities. However, the loss-making state-owned entities have not been restructured so far. And that was also a part of the IMF program which the government had, which Nawaz Sharif kind of agreed to. And thirdly, the country still produces 2/3 of the power it needs to run and meet its energy demand. Now, electricity theft has remained unchanged at 20%, and non-payment of the bills persist. So, yeah, I agree that the macro numbers have improved, but I believe some of the exogenous factors like lower oil prices have a role to play in the economic progress.
Let me jump in there for a second, Vahaj. Let's look at it from an investor's point of view, and in particular an economic risk point of view. How are investors looking at his demise? Do they see it as a sign that Pakistan is getting tough on corruption, or do they see it as a sign of even more political instability?
Right, okay, so I think it's a bit of both. So one, I think they all agree that this is a step towards less corruption in the country. This will definitely improve political governance. And many believe that the next elections, which happen in May 2018, will be much more fair than the ones in May 2013. If you ask about the investors, I think many investors question Imran Khan's or the PTI's role in controlling Pakistan's economic portfolio, should he get the mandate after the next elections in May 2018. Our view is that PTI's focus is anti-corruption rather than redistributive economics. PTI really has strong candidates. For example, the likes of Asad Umar, who's a member of the National Assembly, and he's the ex-president of Anglo Corp, one of Pakistan's largest listed entities.
Okay.
So I think by the virtue of their experience.
Vahaj Ahmed, I'm terribly sorry we are running out of time. We would love to talk about this in much more detail, and we will be following this story more closely in the future. Thank you so much, though. Vahaj Ahmed, Exotix Capital in Dubai. Thank you.